Hi, hello, welcome to Spell Day. We're covering a spell every single day of the year from the 5e PHB plus 3. Those plus 3 spells are homebrew spells. We're at plus 1 at the moment. You can back up the playlist to find it. And today's spell is Lightning Bolt.
You have proven yourself to me. Now, be one with the
Lightning!
Third level evocation, casting time of 1 action, range of self, 100-foot line, components of herbal somatic material, a bit of fur, and a rod of amber, crystal, or glass. Duration, instantaneous. A stroke of lightning forming a line 100 feet long and 5 feet wide blasts out from you in a direction you choose. Each creature in the line must make a dexterity saving throw or take 8d6 lightning damage on a failed save, or half as much damage on a successful one. Lightning damage ignites flammable objects in the area that aren't being worn or carried. At higher levels, when you cast the spell using the spell slot at 4th level or higher, the damage increases by 1d6 for each slot level above 3rd. I forgot about the ignition part. I mean, it makes sense. It's a massive lightning bolt scorching across the battlefield, but it's also the idea that it's an area around it. Because it doesn't necessarily have to hit the target, it's anything the spell area affects. And I was about to make a point that that's the safer area option compared to Fireball, because it won't ignite things. Well, I'm wrong on that account. 3rd level, action! 8d6 damage of a damage variety. It's the other evocation Big Blast spell. Quite a bit more limited than Fireball, however. So Fireball's the standout because of the mass area it affects, and the fact it's still 150 foot range that you can then affect. Whereas with Lightning Bolt, you don't have the range of 150 feet to begin with, and then it's a line, meaning you have to, it's less likely to have enemies in a perfect line to maximize the damage output compared to Fireball, where it's any grouping of them within that 20-foot radius sphere, which is quite big. Still a dex save, still the same number of damage dice. I guess you could bring into account that lightning damage isn't as frequently resisted as fire, but even then, it's still not the best. Still instantaneous burst, same upcast damage dice. It is league for league with Fireball, and just worse. Flavor-wise, great spell. But there's way fewer situations where you're gonna actually have where you're gonna have enemies line up in that account where you can get the most out of the spell, to the point that you're gonna have to be working to see if you can at least get more than 2 people lined up. Hey, and sometimes it happens. Sometimes you're fighting in a hallway of a barracks and you can just line them up, but not always. Also has to come from self, so you can't do this over a barricade or too high up in the air or down in the ground. Well, I guess you could, but it's in a direct line from you. It's not any point and then the radius sphere goes out or then the line. It has to be directed from you in some way. And again, even though it's worse in that account on the area effects and how likely it is you're actually going to be able to line up as many targets as Fireball, especially since virtually every other stat, or not virtually, a lot of stats are similar between the 2 spells. It's the idea that it also ignites things, because I did not think it ignited things. I mean, my games I've flavored on occasion whenever it was cast as like scorching a bit of the ground as it passed over it, but not to the point of entire ignition, and the fact that it's the area that it's striking. Because it says the lightning ignites objects in the area. So it's not just one arc, it's all jutting out and like branching out to its sides, hitting various objects along the way and igniting them, leaving, which to be fair, is a really badass image, firing this lightning bolt and there's just a trail of flame behind it, like Back to the Future style. But that hurts the chances you can use this. Honestly, if you ask me, I think maybe knock the damage dice down 1 and then move this to 2nd level. Just because Fireball just outclasses it. It just does. And the classes that get Lightning Bolt are the same classes that can pick up Fireball as well. And it's just, if you're going for just straight what the spell can offer you, if you're going for flavor, by all means, please go Lightning Bolt. Fireball's seen all the time, makes sense, giant fiery explosion, basis for Arcana. Go watch the Philosophy of Fireball video if you're wondering my take on it. But it's options-wise, numbers-wise, man, do I want to homebrew this spell or change some of its features, but right now, Fireball just outclasses it. But still, 7 out of 10. Spell slot, you get it, you can still spam it to an extent. The amount of area ignited is not as bad as Fireball, theoretically, depending on where you're launching it. Same upcast, and it's just a go-to damage spell.